Hello, welcome to Fun with Monu-Cad. I've had quite a few responses asking exactly how do I fill things? What are the different commands and how do they work? So I've got a monument here on the screen. I'm going to erase the fills and I'll show you just a couple of quick ways that we fill this monument and which commands we're actually using. So the first thing I'd like to show you is the group fill, which is GF. This pulls up your fill group manager. You can see here I have a default groups. These are ones that come with Monu-Cad. I also have a drawing groups. These are the groups that are actually being used in this drawing. You'll see that this list is much smaller than the list here that has lots more things in it. And there's some manipulation we can do to this as well that is a little more advanced feature, but for simply filling this monument we don't need any of that at the moment. So I'm going to close this. Well, before we close that, we have solid colors here, we have hatches, we have our granites, we have our backgrounds, and a picture if you wanted to add a photo and etching, something like that. You also, when you choose your granites, you can choose polished, steeled, rock pitch, and blued. So we're going to cancel this for right now. So I've got a plain monument on the screen that we use all the time, and I want to color it. So there's a couple ways we can do that. We can do the old standby seed fill, SD, choose the area we want to fill, and it fills. It allows us to choose which group that we want that to be. We can choose a base, we can choose a dye, whatever. For right now we'll leave it on the default, choose rock pitch, and that fills this area. We can also fill this area with a fitted fill, which is FF. We choose the lines that make up this area, which is difficult if you were doing this flower, but not so difficult doing this base. So we choose our top, our sides, and our bottom, and there we go. Again, we can choose whichever group we want. And we'll OK that, and we have our base done. Now, I like to start with doing my panel first, and again we can seed fill this, choose inside, and choose steel finish. We could seed fill our V-line here and choose black, but that's a cumbersome way to do it, and it's too much work. Instead, what we do is use an autofill, AF. We choose anywhere along the outside of this box, and I'm going to choose right here, and it fills our box and our V-line. Then I'd like to do a seed fill, SD, choose anywhere outside of the panel, and I'm going to choose dye, make sure my granite's what I want, and that's polished. And again, we do our base with either a fitted fill or a seed fill. Choose rock pitch. So there we are, our monument's done, and we've seen all of the different commands. Now, in another video explained how to fill this flower. The easiest way is if all of our lines are connected, they're all drawn just right, there's no breaks, no gaps, no lines that extend past another one. We can simply do an autofill, AF, choose outside of our line, and there we go. It makes our two points here, which is our component sandblast line and our component surface. Zoom back in on this. The other way we can fill this same flower, remove these two here. The other way we can fill this flower is to use the F2 command, which is the letter F, the number 2. We draw a square. And this operates just like the window fill, which we do not use anymore. F2, we choose our box, and that's going to fill the outside V-line. And in this case, I'm going to choose component sandblast line, which is black. And then the next step, which is essentially what autofill does, erase a line anywhere on the outside of this flower. I'm going to choose this one. and we'll turn my fill back on. We use F2 again, and it's going to fill the same image, but it's going to ignore that V line because it's missing a line. I'm just going to do that, and we're going to change this to our component surface, which is granite and steeled. Apply that. I'll turn our fills off here, and I'm going to unerase that line. And now we have a filled flower using the F2 command. The reason we don't use window fill, I'll show you again here. Get rid of this. Is when we do a window fill WF, although it accomplishes the same look, you notice it did not pull up our group fill box here, and so it doesn't give us the opportunity to choose which fill layer we want to use. That's the difference between a window fill and F2, which is this, which does give us the ability to adjust our color group. And that's important for being able to choose this surface or choose the V line or whatever it is that we might want to use. Once we have this flower filled correctly, we do a simple component create, choose our flower, save our component, and then by placing that same rose that's already been filled, we can set it right on top of our polished and frosted areas so that it renders correctly for the family. Image that over here, and we've got a nice looking monument. So I hope that helps. It gives you the 4 or 5 commands that I typically use for filling a monument.